Okay, we will begin tonight with a completeness hearing. Mr. Thomas Gage, block 11112, lot 1514 Brown Trail. The applicant would like to come before the board for a completeness review of his project to build a single-family home on a vacant lot on Brown Trail. Mr. Gage, I believe, is here.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Mr. Gage, you want to be sworn in by our attorney, please?
Well, this is just completeness, so we're not starting the public hearing. So this will
okay.
just be a discussion. We have
All right.
Mr. Rushke's report dated May 21st.
All right. In that case, I would like to start with a couple of questions to Mr. Gage. Mr. Gage, on June 5th, 2020, you sent a letter to us believing that Mr. Rushke has a conflict of interest in your application and asking that he recuse himself and his firm. I personally have no intention of asking Mr. Rushke to recuse himself or his firm. What I would like to do is to point out to you that, and Bill, please, Bill Haggerty, please tell me whether or not this is correct. I believe that it is the legal responsibility of this board to have an engineer review.
Well, we certainly should in this type of case. I read the documentation provided by Mr. Gage. As I understand it, he has litigation involving officials in Somerset County. Mr. Rushke's firm does some business that he pointed out in minutes with Somerset County. I don't see that as I don't see the conflict. I don't see the nexus there. If John Rushke felt uncomfortable in proceeding, I'm confident he would let the board know and express that opinion. But certainly I don't feel that based upon what was presented that creates a conflict.
Right. I tend to agree. So Mr. Gage, would you like to, well, I have two more questions. Could you explain to us how the plaintiff is precluding you from exercising your First and 14th Amendment rights? Mr. Gage.
Mr. Gates, you're on.
Mr. Gage, are you there? Do you hear us? Mr. Gage, do you hear us?
I see him, but he's not saying anything.
No. He's not muted, is he?
Nope.
No.
Mr. Gage, do you hear us? There's no indication that he hears us.
I'm at no man's land now.
Danielle, do you have his phone number?
Hold on, I might be able to pull it up on an email.
Yeah, let's call him and tell him that we're having a technical problem.
He might have the volume down on his computer, maybe?
He's fully in, Mayor. He's no
in.
restrictions on him. He's fully in.
Hey, guys, I can also hear you.
Okay.
Thanks for the candy.
I'll make it up to you.
I got my own bag of chips.
Poor
I
baby.
got cheeses.
Oh,
I'm not saying that he hears us.
No, I
he's
don't
just-
think he does. I see him on the video, but he doesn't respond to any queries or.
He's lifted his phone to look at it, so I'm not sure.
I'm trying to
Taco
do
Tuesday.
I don't see a phone number, Danielle, with the emails.
Is there a
Hold on,
phone
I got
number
one
on
on
his
the
application?
I don't know whether he would respond to an email, but
I'm going to try calling him right now. I'm going to mute myself.
okay.
Danielle, hey Danielle, I'm going to keep control of this until we're done with this, okay?
He's on mute anyway.
Got it.
I do have a phone number for him.
There, he's answering his
Picking
phone.
up right now. Just checking.
I tried his phone number on the application and it goes to voicemail.
Okay. Did you try the 2695? Did it end in?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we try holding up a sign.
I love
Mr.
technology.
Mr. Cage, can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Cage, can you hear us?
Hold on, guys. I'm talking to him right now.
Okay,
All right,
good.
perfect.
Okay. Hey, guys, what I'm going to do is put my cell phone on speaker. Mr. Gage, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Can you guys hear
Okay.
him?
Yes.
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 Okay, that's what I'm going to do. He's on my cell phone on speaker.
All right, then I will begin again. Mr. Gage, on June 5th, 2020, you sent us a legal notice indicating that you want Mr. Rushke to recuse himself and his firm from these proceedings. I personally have no intention of asking Mr. Rushke to recuse himself or his firm. In a moment, I will give you an opportunity to respond to that. But first, I would ask you how Mr. Rushke's is precluding you from exercising your First and your 14th Amendment rights.
Well, this has to do with connection of, which is, there's a two pending case, federal case, court, and it has to do with connection of law firm to my defendants. And they are impeding me to take my life, and then that's why I know there's a connection. So I have a knowledge of that. So either because the connection doesn't make me feel like comfortable based on what he already says in his review, you know.
But what does that have to do with your First or your 14th Amendment rights, sir?
Well, to use my land, okay, the use of my land that will be if I exercise the current application and without interfering obstructive applications, you know, because I see it as an obstruction application.
Okay. I am not going to ask Mr. Rushke to recuse himself or to recuse his firm, but if anybody else on the board would like him to, you can certainly make such a motion. Mr. Rushke, I assume that you do not feel uncomfortable and that you see no reason to recuse yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have no knowledge of the litigation that he refers to. I have no past experience or knowledge or any experience with Mr. Cage. It's, you know, I feel I have no conflict.
Okay.
Can I ask you if you ever talk, you or your firm ever contacted the law firm of Saco from Somerset County?
I can say that I am the office manager for our Morristown office, and the Morristown office does not work for Somerset County at all, and I have no experience with our work with Somerset County. Again, I have no knowledge regarding any work with Somerset County or any involvement with your litigation.
Okay, let me tell you something. Your firm is not. I show you the. I submit 2 samples where they had a meeting in Somerset County. Hello.
Okay, Mr. Gage, I would point out that that the board. In a moment, I will ask the board again if anybody wants to make a motion to have Mr. Rushke or his firm recused. But I'll point out to you that the board will require a report from an engineer. If Mr. Rushke recuses himself or his firm from the proceedings, it will delay your application because we will have to get a recommendation from Mr. Rushke for another engineering firm, and that firm would have to have time to review all of the documents. Would you be willing to work with a firm recommended by Mr. Rushke, who the board would then hire?
Well, Mr. Chairman,
Yeah, I think Bill
If
would.
Hold on, if Mr. Rushke had a conflict, we wouldn't take his recommendation for another engineer. But from my understanding of these emails, Mr. Rushke's firm is not a defendant in the litigation. Mr. Rushke obviously is not a defendant in the litigation. I don't understand the concept of saying, well, I've got a problem with Somerset County, and Mr. Rushke's firm or some member may have done some work for Somerset County, that creates a conflict. I think that is so far afield of conflict rules that
This is
it's not tenable.
I understand what you say. Totally, I understand, but you don't understand what I'm saying. I've been through this before. Okay, this is it's like I'm seeing the second movie. You know, it's these people they work through law firms and they do. You know, I don't want to go through the details of my case, but if I don't feel comfortable with something, so I don't feel that would be fair. Okay, so that'll be by law they have to excuse themselves.
Okay.
Now, I can also, you could proceed to this meeting tonight. That comment could be resolved in something else, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I was willing to listen to you guys tonight, see if you agree to have my application complete. If not, then we move different way.
Would you say that again, please, sir? I didn't understand the end of what you said.
I said, well, either if tonight I want to know from you, from the board, if you're willing to accept the application as it is, complete. If not, we proceed in a different way. But now I'm waiting for you, the board, to move this application forward or not.
Okay, but first we have to deal with these letters that you've sent us.
Yes.
And so I will ask first, would anybody from the board want to make a motion to have Mr. Rushke recuse himself and or his firm from further deliberations in this matter?
No.
No.
Okay. In that case, Mr. Gage, we are going to proceed with the completeness hearing, and Mr. Rushke from Mott McDonald is going to be our engineer of record. Now, getting to the completeness hearing, Mr. Gage wants us to deem his application complete. I would like to refer then to the letter of May 21st, 2020 from Mr. Rushke. Mr. Gage, do you have that letter?
I mean,
It's the letter from Mott McDonald.
yeah. Yeah, May 21st?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, I do.
Okay, in that, if we could go to completeness, number 1, the comments, the site contains critical areas that have not been addressed. Flood hazard, FHA, flood hazard area associated with the on-site stream has not been defined. Applicant should obtain a non-applicability determination from NJDEP and present it to us. An absence determination or a letter of interpretation for wetland should be obtained from NJDEP Division of Land Use Regulation. Now, I see that you have sent a couple of emails to them requesting certain things, and you've put some deadlines on them. Just because you put deadlines on them does not mean that they have to comply with that. So I think that you are still not, we still don't have any information explaining the flood hazard area associated with this on-site stream. Do you or anyone else want to comment about that?
I want to say that I don't see any critical area. That's a perfect. There's no critical area over there. There's no reasons to me to do all there's no need to do. And also the fact of the matter, the DPA has no jurisdiction, and then I've been proving that. So also you have there a conflict of interest with the state, any of. So this is the critical part. So, like I said, if your board believes that I need anything from the state, then I gotta take this case in different ways.
Okay. If we go to the next comment, a disturbance of greater than 1,500 square feet require a lot grading plan as per Borough Code, Chapter 197, lot grading plan. Lot grading plan has not been submitted. If all you have to do is tell us that there is not going to be a disturbance greater than 1,500 square feet, and that one will be taken care of. I was over there the other day, and it's a very flat piece of property. I don't see why there would be a disturbance of over 1,500 square feet. Do you believe that there would be, sir?
No, I believe not. No.
Okay, so there's no need to have a lot grading plan. If we go to the next comment, the application does not address stormwater control requirements. Now, this is something that we do require of everyone. If you're going to be putting up a home, and if there's going to be impervious coverage, and there are going to be gutters and downspouts, we have to know where that water is going to be directed. And we do not have that information.
Yes, and those I thought something like that would be like a complying with the application of construction permit. It's something that comes.
Well, no, we have to have that before you get a permit, sir. We have to have that as part of the application because sometimes we require a 10-year storm plan, sometimes a 100-year. So we have to have that.
Yes.
And this is something we ask of all people making application to put up a home.
Alan?
Yes.
Just want to go reference back to the architectural plans references that the maximum lot coverage that is proposed is 2,500 square feet. So I think the statement that the applicant made that he's not going to disturb more than 1,500 square feet is not accurate.
Okay.
I show you the plans. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, I think there are a lot of things missing. If you go to the technical review, existing and proposed contours, site grading are not there. Stormwater management is not there. Construction details are not there. Location of existing utility mains within Brown Trail and the location of proposed utility service lines is not there. Soil erosion, I mean, everything in the report there is lacking.
Yeah, the question will be, I'm looking for approval to build this, the footprint of this house, right? So if I'm gonna throw, like I said in my argument, $100,000 of work, then I have to come.
Oh, come on now. Where did you get that? That number, $100,000 is. You shouldn't throw that out. There's no basis for that whatsoever. That's unfair for the.
Nor is there any basis. Nor is there any basis to believe that there would be an increase of at least 25% of the property values on Brown Trail.
Yeah. Usually that's what happens in those areas when you put it.
Well, usually it doesn't matter, sir. I would like to cut off this discussion and just see if there's anything else that you want to present to us, sir.
Well, I'm presenting exactly what I submitted. Okay.
So we have a document. We have two documents. We have the document asking that Mr. Rushke recuse himself and his firm, and we have another document also dated June 5th, which is, I believe, 10 pages. About, let's see, no, 5 pages. 1, 2, 3 pages, and then 2 emails, and then a bunch of pictures. Would anybody from the board like to make a motion to deem this application complete?
No. No.
Okay, seeing no one, I have to tell you, Mr. Gage, that your application is not
Well,
deemed.
let's have an affirmative vote.
Okay,
In the motion to deem it incomplete.
okay.
I'll make a motion to make it that the current application as it sits right now is incomplete.
I'll second it.
Okay. Danielle, make sure you call only the voting members, please.
Can I suggest something? Can I suggest something?
Go ahead.
This vote is based on what? On a review of Mr. John, the engineer?
Now, this is based upon the information that you have presented to us.
Based upon the checklist,
It's based on review of John.
which is based upon the checklist in our ordinance.
Right.
Yeah, that was from John. Exactly.
That's our ordinance.
It's dictated
My-
by ordinance.
Exactly. Yes or
No.
It's based upon the ordinance, whether it's Mr. Rusty or anybody else.
no? John provided a review and you are going with it. Understand that? Because if you would have bring it up, you know, bring it up this stuff, right? So that's my point. You want to vote on the vote.
It would still be incomplete regardless.
We're going to vote now.
Hey, Alan, my motion is clearly dedicated to the ordinances that provide the specifications and statutes for this.
Thank you, Ron.
I can also, argue it. There's enough fair. You understand?
The discussion is over, sir. You've had your chance to present everything. We now have a motion on the floor, and we are going to vote on this motion. Danielle, please call the roll.
Confirm to me that my question is that you, based on a review.
Sir, please stop talking. You are out of order. You had your chance. Go ahead, Danielle, call the roll.
Mr. Duncan,
Yes.
Mr. Gaffney,
Yes.
Mr. Rahill,
Yes.
Mr. Riley,
Yes.
Mr. Tappan,
Yes.
Councilman Schindler.
Councilman Schindler?
Oh, hold on.
Rich, you're muted.
I got him. Hold on.
Now,
To him.
You and Rich are fighting.
There we go. He's got it.
Yes.
thank you. Mayor Francis,
Yes.
Mr. Gilbert.
Yes. Mr. Gage, your application has been deemed incomplete. In order for you to proceed, you're going to have to meet the requirements and have this deemed complete before we can hear any further argument on this matter.